All right, just got back from a run. These runs are always full of ideas, full of epiphanies, full of just things that come to me as I'm running and listening to either audiobooks, stories, fictional, non-fictional. Sometimes I just listen to audio waves that help tune my brain, believe it or not. And today the idea that came to me was the law of fair exchange. Most people in the United States rely on the government. They rely on laws made by the government, right, by elected officials. And it's starting to be more and more of a question of, are we being represented by our government? So we're relying on people that we may or may not have elected or voted for, I should say. And at that point, we're kind of trying to understand where's our representation, particularly for underserved communities. Well, I got a rude awakening. There is no one coming to your help. There's no one that's gonna kind of figure it out for you, particularly if they're trying to meet lots of interests in a large district. The only law that will work for you is the law of fair exchange. In capitalism, the basic founding rule is, and I'm simplifying this a lot, but it's the law of exchange, of fair exchange, in the sense that I have something that's abundant to me that I'm willing to trade, and you will only trade it with me if you have something in abundance that you're willing to trade with me, or it's something scarce but that you would put more value on it and you would want more returns for that scarce item. So the law of fair exchange, what do I mean by that? Most of the times we're waiting for lawmakers to represent us, to put something out there that we consider fair, right? But what are we exchanging for that? A vote? Sometimes not even that. So how can you expect someone to give you what you want if you're not trading in something that they want? At this point in time, it feels like the only thing we can give our elected officials is a vote. And you can only do that once every 4 years, if that, or sooner sometimes for different elections. So unless you are the lawmaker, and it takes a lot of people to kind of put a bill together and put a law forward, which is why a lot of people don't do it except for the very rich or very wealthy. Unless you're able to dictate bills and push laws through our government that benefit you, which is a lot of work, it's probably not going to be your best route to getting what you want. So I would recommend, in order to get what you want, you develop something of value to others that they'd be willing to exchange for. Ideas are bountiful, they're plentiful, they're endless. And most people don't know what to do with their idea or what the next steps are. Sadly, our public education system doesn't teach us how to expand our ideas into products, or how to develop ideas into products that we can then sell, or knowledge that we can then sell, or even how to sell our knowledge, how to exchange our knowledge. And so that becomes quite a difficult thing to navigate. Is you get 12 years of public schooling, maybe another 4 years, 5 years to get your bachelor's. You go on to get a master's, and like Mark Cuban says, you basically take on the loans of a mortgage without having a home. And that's called your education, right? Which is valuable because you're actually downloading a lot of information into your brain. You're around a lot of like-minded people for that time. You're looking at people more experienced than you, more knowledgeable than you, to teach you and guide you on what to learn. But I would say the most valuable thing that I learned at UCLA was how to learn, how to teach myself, how to research, how to develop my own learning. And so I would recommend in this day and age that you learn that skill. It doesn't matter how old you are. Well, you can't be, a child possibly, but maybe you can. I've seen a lot of children teach themselves a lot of skills. There's many cases out there. So it really comes down to mindset. It really comes down to belief. It really comes down to faith and resistance, persistence, and insistence. When you really truly know you have a great idea or something of value to others. And then at that point, it's that persistence piece to develop the product, get it to a quality that you can then exchange for other goods and services that may be in demand. And so it's very obvious, for example, with our immigration system, it's very much used for politics to get people on one side or another, or divide people based on that. But the reality is, immigrants have something of value to offer, in this case, the United States of America, which is labor. But through politics, they're able to keep people oppressed and wages low in order to sustain that low wage. And they say it's to sustain the industry, but in reality, if people wanted the labor, they'd pay whatever it was to get that labor. So they have to use other trickery in order to keep labor wages low. Not speaking against the government, I think there's value to having structure, law, order. But what I'm telling the general population is not to limit themselves by law that are created by others. In other words, create your own fair exchange, law of fair exchange. You have skills, you have abilities, you have ideas that you could turn into products that you can exchange for money or other goods and services. So the law of fair exchange is basically don't wait on somebody to come and save you. Believe in yourself, build off of your ideas, and really develop those ideas into products, goods, and services that you can trade with your neighbors, that you could trade with your colleagues, that you can trade with people online. You can trade with other countries. And there's lots of ways to commercialize if you just do the research, do your homework, and find those ways to commercialize. Don't wait for somebody to do it for you. Don't wait for a law to be passed that would then, tilt things slightly in your favor. In fact, right now as it is, it's an abundant world. Things are in your favor if you just believe them to be, and you're persistent and you work hard and you focus on one thing until you get that off the ground. So short summary, law of fair exchange basically means don't rely on laws that other people create. Use your talent, your skills, your ideas to create fair exchanges in your life, exchanges that you would consider fair. And so how do you do that? Just so happens that I do have a product that I call the Idea Book, and that Idea Book helps you take your ideas from a thought and turn them into reality just by putting more thinking into it and doing writing. Writing is very valuable. They say people learn through dialogue, through confirming what they know or what they're learning by checking in with those around them, or checking in with themselves. And so when you don't have someone to dialogue with, writing becomes your form of dialogue with yourself, I would argue. And so with that, if you want to have boundless wealth in your life, if you want to have everything you ever could have dreamed of, I guarantee you can achieve it. And I can show you how. Otherwise, you can continue in the path you're on, continue to rely on other people to make laws for you and to build life around you, whether it favors you or not. But I would tend to think that most people want to build the life that they want. They're just not sure how. And so I want to help you learn how. So, click on the link down below and you can learn a little bit more about my trainings that I'm offering. Maybe check out a couple more videos. I'm gonna be posting some free videos from time to time. But again, don't wait on people to change your life for you. Pick up a book, a journal, start writing down your ideas, start brainstorming what you need to get done, start thinking about the people that can help you make it happen, pull out your action items, and get to work. With that, signing off. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging on till the end. Click below to check out more videos. And I'll see you soon. Talk to you at the next one. Bye now.